Welcome everybody. Come on in once again. Share the live. Tap that
Dawn and
screen.
I had an interesting conversation today.
We
Well,
did.
I mean, interesting text, and she was talking about something that I think is really important um, in this journey. But I'll let her. I ain't gonna steal the thunder of it. But I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, this is real, some real stuff that those of us that's watching, you probably are gonna be able to relate to this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Uh,
Come on in. Come on in. What we were discussing has a lot to do with integration. And integration happens as we continue to evolve. And I made a statement when I was texting and I was like, yeah, this is real. When you become more aware of how the cycles and the processes go with awakening and becoming and unbecoming and so on, it doesn't make it better. It's still ugly. It's still stupid. But you get it. You have a better understanding. So there's none of this beating yourself up. There's none of that. Why is this happening? There's none of that. You just have this outlook of it's happening for the greater good, for my greater good, and it's something that has to take place in order to become the version of myself that I'm aiming and meant to be. And it was, I was sharing with Dom earlier that there's this thing well, you had said something first. I didn't look over the text
we'll
message.
get to that. We'll
No,
get to that.
let's start right where you are, because that's where it led.
Yeah. So it was. So what I was talking about was the journey. When people are in the awakening journey, they want to take other people with them, and they think that it's like it's like religion. When you find your religion, when someone finds a religion, the first thing you do is you go tell everybody about it. And then you like, hey, let me tell you about this. The Lord told me to tell, or you, whatever it is that you're saying, you go tell people because you're recruiting. You are actively recruiting people to come in with you. And in the awakening journey, that it is 1,000% opposite. Like that's not the marching orders. Like that's not what it is. It's the journey is yours. It is yours. And there may be people that come alongside you, but it is a very, very personal journey. And sometimes that journey is lonely. It gets lonely, and that makes no sense in the world that's always trying to tell you, hey, you got to get in a relationship, you got to be married, the conditioning tells you that you're supposed to be um, linked with somebody, and if you're not linked with somebody, then something's wrong with you. Something's wrong. So that's what it was for me. It was I see a lot on my page about people being frustrated that family members and loved ones are not coming along. Like, why don't they get it? Why don't they understand? They're not supposed to. It wasn't for them. You got the memo. You got the email. It went to you. It didn't go to nobody else. So anyway, that's where it started.
Yeah. And it's it leads to you feeling that lonely because the journey is supposed to isolate you. It's supposed to cut the noise out. I think we were going to talk about that last week as well. We're going to talk about learning how to shut out the outside noise so you can start tuning in and listening to what's going on within you. Because if you got all this chatter, all these opinions, all this information, all the things that are inundating us right now, you won't be able to know what the true voice of God, source, divine, whatever you want to call it. You will not be able to hear that until you learn how to quiet the noise. And that isolation, that solitude, that solo trip, that is critical. But what you're also battling in those times is the feeling of lonely, connection, being able to relate to other people, feeling understood, feeling seen, feeling heard. You don't get that on this journey. You don't get the privilege of that because you have to go on the trip on the quest of finding that within yourself. And then you will start aligning and attracting those that are in sync with you, not what you're used to. Our relatives, and I always make it a difference between family and relatives. We call our relatives family because that's the word, but they are your relatives. That's your bloodline. When you go on your spiritual journey, when you awaken to your truth, your divinity of who you really are, aside from what raised you, who raised you, how you were raised, that's when you start to align with your soul family. That's when you start being seen in a different light. That's when you feel understood in ways you've never felt understood before. That's when you're really seen by people who get you. And unfortunately, those people that you were raised with, those friendships that you've had, your day ones, they're not meant to come with you all the time. You may lose them for 10, 15 years. You may realign. They may be gone forever. We don't get to pick who gets to come with us on our journey. And it's hard. I never like to use the word hard, but it is hard. It's very hard to let go of people you do love and care for. You want them to be with you through your hard times, because this is hard. I mean, this journey itself is not fun, but you also want them to be there with a front row seat, if not on the stage with you, when you are receiving your gifts, your blessings, your flowers, your enlightenment. When you're receiving those things, you want them to be there celebrating with you, and most of them can't. They can't. It's not their journey.
Dawn, as you're talking about this, it's making me think of the surrender. So this process requires extreme surrender. Extreme. You surrender there's nothing that you don't surrender. You surrender every cell of your body, everything, and including as you talked about, your relatives, but wait, there's more. Loved ones. It could be loved ones. It could be anybody. Something that as you were talking about this, I just thought about it. I lost the expectation for anyone who's not supposed to understand. I don't even expect people to get it. No, I don't even, it's not even, I know who I can speak to and who I can't.
Yeah.
Like, because if you think, and I did a video about this, I'm gonna post it about like who we can talk to, and one of the things you have to surrender is the conditioning of this world. You have to the programming and conditioning. You have to understand that most people, and I'm not casting dispersions on people, most of us on this planet are programmed in a lot of different ways. And so when you start speaking deprogrammed language, you start speaking code, you start speaking the understanding of awakening and the quantum field, and they're like, well, wait a minute, that ain't what I learned, growing up, and that ain't what I learned. What I learned, what I learned, and we're in this place where we did the unlearning. Like, we did the unlearning. And so I have literally lost, and it's not a negative thing either. It's not like I'm mad at people. No. I understand. If you're supposed to get it, you will. If you're not, you won't. It's as simple as that.
And how painful was that, though? In the very early stages, how painful was it when we didn't understand? They don't hear you. They don't speak the language. They don't speak the frequency.
You know what? This is it is very painful because you expect the expectation. But see, here's something else. In the journey, you lose expectations. You lose but in the beginning, it was like, well, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, maybe, this person for sure is going with me. This is my road. You going, even that person. Nope. Even that person. So it is a painful place in the beginning, but the more you walk, the more you understand. And then when you understand, you're like, wait a minute, it's not that they're trying to reject me, or they're trying to, like, you just said, I'm just on a different frequency. We're on different frequencies. They don't know this frequency yet. That's all that is. And then I used to say that a lot. They don't know this yet. But then I had to get to the place of saying, well, they may never know this. And
Yeah.
I had to go from pain to acceptance. Like the pain of them, people not being there, to accepting the fact that, oh, wait a minute, hold on. This is a journey that I'm supposed to do on my own. I was called to do this by myself, to separate, to do this on my own. And because part of the reason is that sometimes we will start to lean on other people as the crutch, sometimes people will dilute what's happening with your energy or your frequency. And so that's why this is a direct source thing. You got to go straight to the source. Ain't no middleman, ain't no extra CC of somebody CC'd on the spiritual email. No, this is a direct source thing.
Yeah. And it's very private in a sense. I just want to say hello to everyone that came into the room. Tap that screen, share the live out. It's in the beginning of these journeys of awakening, everything is uncomfortable because everything is new. Everything, you've never really seen it in this way before. You've never experienced it in this way before, because this is groundbreaking for you. This is literally you cracking open a new version of yourself that is more purposeful. We've gone through the growing pains and experiences throughout life, but now it's like, yo, this is literally me becoming something different, not just someone different, but something different. And you may be the only, more than likely, you're going to be the only one in your circle, in your family, in your realm of normalcy that actually is that quote unquote black sheep. You are the oddball. You are the weirdo. You are the one everybody thinks is crazy. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying because like Dom said, you are now forced to unlearn everything that everybody else knows, the way that everybody else functions, how they think, what they believe. You're going against the grain, and that is always uncomfortable. That is always scary, because the fear, I always like to say, is because you don't know what's on the other side. You ain't been there before, and nobody can tell you what's on the other side. But when you make the conscious decision to go through that door, not knowing if it's an abyss on the other side that you just gonna fall down, not knowing if it's gonna be pure paradise, not knowing if it's gonna be flames and fury over there wake, not knowing what is over there. You just something in you says, I gotta do it. F it. Let's go. But that's
I
what
think
you really wanted.
when you say this, Dawn, this is purposeful, by the way. When you say you're the only person, like you're the only one, because if you think about this, like the people that do awaken, we're all spread out. Like, how come I didn't wake up next to somebody next door who knew exactly what was going on, or my neighbor was, or my family, or somebody? How come there's not this just grand community around me?
Right.
And it's almost like you've been strategically placed in somewhere where you're the only one. And I don't fully understand that, but I do understand it. I do understand it, but my 3D mind is like, well, I should have other people. My 5D, my higher mind is like, oh, no, this is exactly how it's supposed to be.
Exactly how it's supposed
It's
to be.
exactly how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in this space because our role is to awaken to ourselves, shine the light that we have, and then that light is just, those rays are going to just reach to whoever it needs to see it.
Yeah. Thank you, Dorothy, for that. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being in the comments, you guys. And for those that just joined us, once again, hello. Come on in, tap that screen, share the live. If you really think about it, because I know I've been experiencing this probably over the past 10 years. Some of the people that I have the privilege of not being in one environment very young. I went to 6 elementary schools before I hit the 3rd grade. I had friends in all different cities and all kinds of things. So it was like I was always in different environments, observing, right? And so one would say, I know a lot of people. Well, I do. And a lot of people know me in LA. Even though LA is big, it's still, to me, it seems very small. I didn't realize until about 10 years ago that some of these people that I've met along my journey from being a small child are just like us. They literally went through their journey. It was like we met, clicked, went our own little directions. And then it's like, now I'm looking, they're like, yo, yeah, I didn't know you was on that. No, I didn't know you was on that. You know, I'm like, isn't it amazing how that's that thing. We're here, then we go here, and then we realign because the frequency. It's all about the frequency. And you can't force frequency. You can only align it within yourself. You can only bring your frequency up. And it's pretty much fair game. Whoever's on that frequency, you're gonna be a magnet. You're gonna attract them. And it's one of those things where, you know, right now, and I think this is another thing that's bothering me. It's the fact that spirituality is becoming trendy. It's becoming something that is like, oh, look, it's not something to play with. This is life and death, literally. And when people toy with it, or they say certain things just to appear like I'm in season. I'm you know, look at me, I'm healing. Are you really? Are you really? Healing is not fun. It's not something you brag about. Sure, it's something that you inspire others to do, but it's horrible. It's dying inside. It's transforming. It's going through a metamorphosis, and it's sitting in the corner curled up, feeling like the whole world is coming to a close for you. It's not something, oh, look at me, I have this, I have that, and I'm over here and look. No, that's sacred. And if you are using this to get follows, get likes, the whole nine, you're actually going to you're going to suffer a consequence at the end of the day because of it. So I don't even worry about that. But you are trying to, how can I put it? You're trying to bamboozle the universe. And that's something that can never happen because the universe is only going to show you more of your inauthenticity. The more you try to prove that you are, you're not. And that is something that terrifies me. But at the same time, I'm relaxed in it, saying, you know, those that are supposed to will. Those that are gonna get it are gonna get it. And I just hope that people know, once again, this is life and death without actually physically dying.
There's a lot of that right now. Like, and I hear it from a lot of people too. Like I hear, and I see it, you know, what you're saying. And, I remember, you know, when I started seeing that and I see the, you know, the performative, you know, the performative people. And then I thought about it and then it just hit me. It was like, what I understand about this journey is that everything is intentional. They are too. They are in their journey. And what you said, what you just said, you just said it, Dawn. You just said, they are in their journey. And so that's going to lead them somewhere.
Mm.
And so I don't, no matter how much I dislike it, that's the journey that they're in. And it's supposed to, like, it's supposed to do that, so that, because the result that you're talking about, that's part of their journey. And
Mm-hmm.
it hit me in that, because I was just hearing so many people. And then I was like, why is everybody so upset about this? And I was like, how come I'm not upset about it? Why am I not? Maybe I should be more bothered by it. But I knew something that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then when I thought about it, I was like, oh, they're a part of this too.
Yeah.
Because anytime there's coherence, there is going to be some distortion somewhere around it, like trying to, distract, or like it's just a part of it. And even that, like, and I remember being in church, and one of the scriptures that I fell in love, was it said, all things work together for the good of those that love him and called according to his purpose. All things work together
Mm-hmm.
for the good of those that love him and are called according to his purpose. All things. So, and I remember going through a divorce, and I remember like saying, God, this too?
Mm-hmm.
This is working for my good, really?
Yeah.
And I remember at that point accepting the negative,
Mm-hmm.
because we only recognize divinity, or we only recognize the process when things are going the way it's supposed to. But what I'm learning in this part of the journey now is to actually understand the distortion is a part of it too. It's a part of it too. It's not like the universe is like, oh my gosh, there's distortion over there. They're faking it. Oh my God. Oh my.
Mm-mm.
It's all a part of it.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I was like, dude, it's already a part of it. And
Mm-hmm.
but it was strange for me to come to that realization. But I just kept hearing it from people, and I'm like, what is everybody talking about? And the people that are just like you said, they're trying to get clicks, they're trying to get, and authenticity is not something you have to try to do.
So,
Like, you don't have to try to be, you just be like you just do, and then it goes wherever it needs to go.
mm-hmm.
But to your point, it's definitely out there, and I see it, and I just look at it, I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, that's their
Mm-hmm.
journey. That's your journey.
It's,
Oh, okay.
I agree 1,000%. And it's crazy because, when you first said that, I said, well, duh, Dawn, this is my favorite thing to always remind myself of. Those people are also there to help you recognize and realize your authenticity in those moments. And you let them be whoever they've chosen to be. All gets revealed in the end, but it is their journey. Yours is yours. And being able to recognize, what Monica said, you can recognize the real from the fake. It is real for them, but for you, you realize they still got a long way to go before they get to that true authentic place. And that is truly confessing to self. This isn't me. This isn't really who I am. I really haven't gone through that dark, that hell and found myself out, because you can see it feels different, it sounds different, it looks different. People who've actually been through something, they're a lot more, I don't want to give out all the tea, but it's a bit more, you see peace. When you can recognize peace, you realize, okay, they got it, they figured it out. But getting back to the lonely people who are in those spaces, who do it for the clicks, who do it for the likes, they don't understand the concept of alone versus I need this attention. I need this in order to feel validated. I need this in order to grow my business. No, you don't. Your business will grow on its own, authentically, organically. What are you doing in the real world to help this world, to raise the vibration of it? What are you doing on a daily basis? This is a lifestyle. This is a way of being. This is a way of existing and moving through the world. That doesn't get clicks. That doesn't get likes. Who are you when this camera is off? That's what matters. But most people who are still grabbing the attention and validation, those are the ones that you're like, yeah, exactly. What's your contribution to the world? Because that, at the end of the day, is what all of this is all about. Not just what you scroll by. And they don't understand that. In my opinion, they don't understand we're not alone. We're here to learn from one another. We're here to grow from one another. But when you get past that feeling of it's all about me, it's just me, you're not even gonna function on that frequency anymore. You're just not.
Which the all about me is not even if you're, and of course we go, where do we go? We go to the unhealed ego. In that place we go to ego, and ego is me. And somebody was saying to me the other day, it was a trip when I hear people say this. It's like, oh, Dom, your platform, and I'm like, I never tried to get a platform. I never had a strategy. I never had a strategist. I never got social. Like I never, and I still don't. And when you're talking about this, Dawn, it makes me think about that. Like, how is it that both of us are on here with large platforms? As first, I thought TikTok was for kids. I thought you were supposed to be doing dances when I first got on here. My cousin told me, and I was like, I ain't about to get on there doing them stupid dances. What I look like? But what you're saying is that the authenticity catches the people that it needs to, like it, and the people, and I started to see like, oh, people need this. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm gonna just keep talking. I don't know where it's going, but I'm gonna just keep talking. It was like I was being guided, but didn't know that I was being guided. I just knew to speak, just like you. Like you just know what you're supposed to do, mm-hmm. And then it's like tiers, in this, like different tiers. You have people that are really, like you said, that have gone through their multiple dark nights, and ego deaths. And then you have people who are just saying, oh, everything's love and light. And I'm like, I don't know this journey to be love and light. I don't know that. I don't know it to be love and light. There's love and light in it.
Yeah.
There's love and light in it, but it's not a love and light journey. And I always think like, man, if your journey's only love and light, then is there some ego wrapped in that? Because I don't have any judgment on it. I'm actually trying to understand it. Like, am I missing something? Am I going through all this hell when I can have love and light too?
But they're like, where do I get that? Where can I go get that? Because what's going on over here ain't love and light. It's really dark and BS. Okay?
Hey,
where can I get that?
You know where I got the love and light from? Coming out from the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out from the dark. After coming out of the dark, the intense suffering, and I mean the suffering that makes you think, I don't want to be on this planet anymore. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like I ain't gonna go out and say the word, but I shouldn't even be here no more. Like, that's how.
You will have to check. I've said that please 3 times. Check please. All right.
It's time to go. It's time to go. It is time to go. And that level of darkness, coming from that darkness, once you come out of that, that's love and light. That's where you recognize I'm never lonely. I'm never alone.
Yeah.
I always have somebody with me.
Yeah, and the lonely is always internal. The lonely is always a feeling. The alone is the physical. You can be alone and feel absolutely full and blissful and just just your highest being alone. Lonely is that internal something that creates or stems from longing. So you're longing for something. You may be longing for a relationship or friendship or some family members that you miss. You may long for them. So there's this sense of a lonely that kicks up. But that's for you to decide how you want to move through that lonely and what that lonely actually represents for you. You know, and I was speaking to Dom about this earlier, there's a thing of, you know, I go back and forth with my lonely because, how can I put this? I find myself evolving constantly, of course. That's my day to day. That's all I want to do is become better than I was yesterday. But spiritually, you don't interact with too many people on a regular basis that can meet you. So you're constantly bringing your attention back down to a lower frequency. Is that making sense? And it's uncomfortable because you don't belong there full time. You okay, it's cool to tap in sometimes, but when it's all day, every day, the same, you know, you do need to have interactions and conversations and experiences and connections with people who meet you right. You're like, okay, this feels great. Okay, great. Okay, you get it. You hear me. Okay. It's like plugging into one another and getting that high frequency energy just reciprocated and is circulating through you and that person or that group of people who are on that frequency. But that lonely for me, as I was saying to Dom earlier, was I'm elevating, but I don't have too many interactions with others who are elevating at the same speed or at the same heights as me right now. So when I had a whole event at my house this weekend and it felt great. I was in the moment. I said, oh, I get to just be one of the girls. But then in that moment, I just felt like this, oh, I'm just one of the girls, not a collective energy. It was all love. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. It was all love, but it was like they get it to a degree, but they're not really. We're not having those mind-blowing conversations or energy frequencies blowing up in the, you know, in the space. It was just like girls just being girls, which I'm grateful for. But sometimes you do need that energy rush. That's something that only another person that's actually on your frequency can give. And that's any frequency that you're on. That's any frequency that you're on. If you are a person who has not yet really embarked on their spiritual journey and you've hung out with people who you've outgrown, you're going to feel that feeling. You feel like, okay, I'm in a group full of people, but we're not really clicking. That's another way of saying that's that feeling of lonely in a space where you're not actually alone. You know, so
Yeah, and because you know what you're talking about, Dawn, that's a real thing. It's very tough being light. It's very difficult to be light. Um, when you are tapped in and you become light, um, you want other people to be that, but it's very difficult because it's lonely. This is what I was talking about earlier about how we've been planted in places in like spiritual deserts. Like we're in a desert. Like there is nobody else around, you know, that like you said, that can understand, that you can speak that language with. And so like on my social media, I've been noticing a lot of people saying that, and they said, oh, we should have a place that we could go to. And I was like, unfortunately, that ain't it right now. Like right now, our place is social media. Like
mhm.
like you can always tap in on social media and find, you know, until we can set that up or figure out some, you know, spiritual house 17, and we'll put up 27 different locations. Until we do that, you know,
So we actually make our own communities.
you know what I'm saying? Like we start our not churches, but we start until we do that. This is where we meet. This is the only place, the only consistent place where I've been able to see and experience people, and I've phenomenal people. You know
Yeah.
that from here. Um, but you know, like you said, and I think I have like I said, I think I'm pretty good at it at this point when I'm around people, just accepting where their journey is, and that journey doesn't have to be where mine is, because it's like, okay, this is your you know, I got people who are Christian friends, like, bro, that's your journey, blessings on you, like, you know, blessings on you, like I have no issues with whatever. Right now, we hanging out. Let's just hang out.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, let's just hang out. You know what? I'm gonna buy you a drink. Enjoy yourself, man. Just chill, whatever. But it's really it is. You have to know the language of 3D and 5D, and then you have to speak languages. You have to code switch wherever you go.
Yeah.
You got to code
It's
switch.
too much.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm literally having dinner with some people the other night, and then they started talking about death, and I wanted to chime in from my awakening journey. Oh, I didn't say a word, dog. I didn't say nothing.
And I know it was like,
I wanted to go, but then I looked at my audience and I'm like, this ain't it.
This ain't it.
Don't you go there, because they don't.
That's another ability to read the room. And you can read the room and get it. No, we're not saying not you're me. I get you. I'm me wherever. That's perfect. Always be you, no matter what. Mm-hmm. But it's just a matter of where do you give your energy more to? Because in that setting, and I caught you. Remember that live you had with that guy? And I'm gonna need you to not do that because you can exert too much. Out and you recognize who's open and available to receive. It's a knowing, and it's like, okay, this will be great. There's been times where I've flown with people, coworkers, and it's like in the beginning, you're like, hi, because you've never seen these people before, you probably never will again. But as the conversations progress, you're like, oh yeah, and then those are really the best times to just let it out. And then they ask questions. If they start asking questions and they're diving deep, and it's a curiosity rather than a like, well, how do you know that? And you feel the energy. It's just different. But know when to give and when to be like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this because
to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other night, and I was just sitting there, and everything in me wanted to speak. But I had to, she said, I think it was Dorothy said, I'm me wherever. I am too. I am me wherever, but I also carry a bag of discernment with me, and I'll sprinkle that out accordingly. And, when you move in your light, you have to understand that sometimes light, if light is too focused, it becomes what? A laser. And if a laser can burn. Like it can blind, it can burn. So me just being me, just like, well, it's just me. Hold on. I need to be discerning with me. I need to be discerning with me and how I move, because if I would have went there in that table, it would have just turned the whole conversation south, and the whole energy would have just went. I already saw it. But as much as I wanted to say something, I had to check myself. I'm like, hold on now, I had to check myself, like, stop. This is not called for now. It's
time for you to just be an observer.
And let them have their moment, talking about death the way that they see it, and just leave it at that. And I can have another conversation. I can get on live and talk about death if I want to. I can do whatever I want. But having the discernment with that's a good point. The discernment with our awakening. Just to know. Because everybody cannot handle this conversation. I have family members who are deeply devout Christian. I will never talk to them about this, ever.
Yeah, there's no point.
Because we already know it's demonic. We already know. The wind blew. It's demonic. Like
I'm gonna pray for you. I'm okay. You don't have to do that.
I'm sorry. But I already know. So that's why I just stepped back and like, okay, let me check my own ego in that moment. Let me check my own ego and just step out of it. Just like the live that you caught me in at one time. I'm arguing with this dude.
Keep going back and forth, y'all. I was like, that's a poor little ting. He just I see his blood pressure going up. I can feel it. I said, he gonna get it. I said, okay, look.
One of the things that gets me is people that look like me that think like other people, and that just burns.
It's weird. It's kind of weird.
it burns me. If you think of the character in Django, Steven, them type of people, I just, the ones that Harriet Tubman would have done away with, them type of folks. And so I said, I got time today.
You did. And I was
I
like,
said, I got time today. But then I had to stop. Like, wait, where is this going?
Yeah, it wasn't going anywhere. He was just as solid in his positioning as you were.
Absolutely.
And you guys were doing this tug of war thing, and there was not that rope was not going to break until somebody comes and says, "Okay, we're done." And that's where you both lose in that space.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I had said to you, that's your ego wanting him to see it, but it's not meant for him to see it yet or at all or whatever. No. It's for you to preserve that for yourself and share it with someone who will receive you. Because he wasn't.
I knew. But see, here's the thing. I already knew. I just wanted to come. I wanted some. When they say I got time today, I want some smoke today. I was, whatever reason, I was like, you know what? I can't stand these. I'm about to go down there just for the hell of it. I know I ain't supposed to be there, but I'm gonna go. Yeah. And that's was something for me. I had to be like, okay, why am I going there? Let me step away from this. But that's the discernment, of me recognizing, okay, and this is me fully in my journey. This is not years ago. This was a couple months ago, So this is, and as we were talking about earlier, the humanity of this is a real thing too. Your meat, what I call the meat suit stuff. Your meat suit stuff. You in this meat suit. Don was talking about this. Like, what did we come here for? We came here to learn the spiritual, to bring it to the natural. But this natural ain't no joke.
No, it's not. You're still battling. It's still an inner war that's taking place, because it's like, oh no, you're not. But yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Prove it. And that's where internally you say, no, you have to keep having these inner dialogues with yourself about why you're doing this, what it means, and just take the necessary steps, the patience, the grace, the understanding of why it's happening right now, because you've already, when you get to a certain level of your awakening and your spiritual growth and you understand your own spiritual development. Let's just say you know what you've asked for. You want to know more. I want to fix this about myself. I want to understand this about myself. I want to love more in this space, and so on and so. Whatever it is that you've asked for, it's coming to you. It's coming and is going to be on a platter for you, and you get to put the puzzle together slowly. It's like working a big puzzle, and you got all the pieces, but now you're trying to make the picture perfect for you. And it's like piece by piece. You may get confused. You may get, a little frustrated because the pieces aren't fitting or the picture's not making any sense. But that's yours. And when you've asked for it, you have to learn how to say, okay, well, why did I ask for this? First of all, what am I seeing in this moment that can show me, teach me, grow me, so I can get to where it is I've asked for, so I can actually align with that? Because the knowing is I am aligning more and more. What am I in alignment right now? I'm in alignment with this feeling. Okay, why are we here? What's keeping us locked in here? If this isn't where we want to be, how do we get to where we want to be? This is inner dialogue that you learn how to practice within yourself, because once again, this is you at the university of you. This is you learning you and understanding you and knowing how you tick, rather than just mindlessly walking through the world as a victim, as someone who is pessimistic, as looking at things are happening to them and not for them. When you get to the point where you can really understand that things are happening through you, not just for you, they're happening through you, That's when you can get a grip and say, yes, I do feel lonely. But why do I feel lonely? What do I need? I need more dialogue with people. I need more conversations, not so much that I don't trust my own inner conversations, but it would be nice to walk through the world and actually have these kinds of conversations with people and these kind of interactions with people that are on this level that I'm reaching higher to. Because when they say it's lonely at the top, it's lonely at the top. And
It
that's
is.
just what it is.
You know, when you said that, I was thinking about that moment. In that moment, so you know how they, if you guys haven't heard this, I'm sure you've heard this. You know, your triggers are an invitation. So anybody that got triggered today, matter of fact, did anybody get triggered today? Traffic, family, friends, money. Did anybody get triggered? So because when they say your triggers are an invitation, you are being invited into you, invited into a deeper level of you. They invite you to a place in you that needs some attention. You know, so the moment that I'm talking about, that was something for me. Like, okay, that those particular people trigger me, you know, and I had to really look at that. Okay, well, why? I know why. Like, I don't like it, but then is my response to it helping the circumstance? You know, and it was no. So it's like the universe just handed me like, hey, here's an area right here for you to look at, you know, and then look at your response to that. How is
Mm-hmm.
that? Is that helping? Are you performing at your highest level of who you're supposed to be in that moment? And the answer is a resounding no. Hell no. You know, I'm hot garbage in that moment. You know, and
For
so
instance, she got triggered at work by her
you said,
coworker.
yep. I got, and let me see. I got up from my desk because I need my job.
Yes, we
There
need
you
her
go.
job.
Yeah,
We
but
need her job.
that moment for me was just recognition. So, and I'm looking at, you know, when I have conflict right now, if I have conflict with anyone, if I have some, I'm asking, hey, what is this here for? That's what I'm asking. What is this here for? I'm not just asking like that. I'm not just looking at the conflict on a
Yeah,
ground level. I'm looking at it from 30,000 feet and like, what is this here for?
you're
It's
witnessing
here.
it.
Yeah, it's here for
Mhm.
something. I want to know what it's here for.
Yeah,
And I'm starting to look at things like that now because before I
yeah,
didn't. I was just
yeah.
mad. I'm like, man, I got to deal with this. Really, really. Now I'm looking at it like, okay, this is inviting me somewhere. What are you
Mhm.
inviting out of me? And so I'm trying to pay attention to what those things are, and then stepping back, and then trying to move in a way where I'm moving from my higher self and not from my meat suit self.
Yeah. And you know it's crazy? Me and conflict have a thing, and I've noticed this probably over the past maybe 2, 3 years. Conflict will present itself to me, and I will look at it dead back in its face. Okay, go ahead, do your thing. And then because in that moment, once it's presented, I already know how I'm going to respond or react. I know it. I'm not going to give you what you just came for. I'm not going to do it. And when I tell you that is me being a fierce protector of my energy, yeah, I could choose to go to the pits of hell with you. Absolutely. You ain't going to like it when we down there, though. You ain't going to like it. But that's also me being an Aquarius, I will say that. But at the end of the day, you don't get any of this light. You're not getting ready to snatch it. When you've already had your life sucked out of you, when you've already had people come for your light left and right and sideways and everywhere in between, you know how to protect it, and you know what it's getting ready to look like when somebody's coming for it again. Like, no, even things that are even inanimate things, not people, situations. There's a no, we're not about to do that. We doing here because
What's
what is trying to take away, and I'm trying to hold on and build rather than go back into those diminished spaces again.
Yeah, you know, to that point, when I like that you said that. You said the inanimate things, like things that I can't control. You know, if you look around this nation right now and you look at the hot garbage, the mess that it is, and I'm very connected to the political stuff. Like and I don't mean connected like I'm enmeshed in it, Like I
You
know
know.
what's happening. I know what's
Mhm.
happening, but then I actively choose not to get
Inundated,
and
absorbed.
yeah, like I'm not about to, I'm not going there. So that's an area, that, when you talk about the discernment of this, like, okay, I like how you said this too. I'm not giving you what you came here for. That bars. I'm not giving you what you came here for. Like, oh, I see you. And you're coming to take the light, the energy. You're coming to take that so that I could be in the same place that you in.
Nope.
And I did not work my butt off to get to this place where, I'm enjoying this for some random to come take it from me. No. And that part for me is like, I'm competitive. So I got a competitive. And I'm like, okay, cool. Got you.
You
Got you.
you like
Got you.
gloves on. Cool.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's get it. And but I'm like I said, I can sit there just like what you say. I'm not going to give that to you. But in that moment, like I said, that last moment, and there's moments that have come up recently in my life where I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, man, hold on. Listen, there have been times with me where I just said, you know what, cool, let's go,
Yeah, and that's fine.
let's
You
go.
That's fine because there's sometimes, and I've had to say this to some people because there's some people who are very nice. Okay, there's a difference, and one of my spiritual sisters, she says there's a difference between being kind and being nice. You can be a kind person, and you can say some things to people that may not be nice, but the intention behind it is still I'm being kinder to myself. I'm treating myself better than what it is, anyways. Sometimes, yes, you may be the one of the most beautiful hearted people. You may be one of the best. You want to do right by people. No, that's no problem. But sometimes you are someone else's karma.
Ooh,
Sometimes that person is your assignment to put them in a. Sometimes you are going to be the villain in someone else's story. It's okay. Sometimes you have to pull yourself and check somebody. That's healthy. That's human. You're not supposed to be everybody's punching bag. You're not supposed to let everybody just get away with something. Sometimes you need to check somebody and tell them you out of pocket. It's just that simple. Doesn't make you less than spiritual. It doesn't make you, because we are duality. We are both light and we are dark. And when you meet yourself in that happy medium space, that's when you have that armor to protect as well as to fight.
I say, you said this. You said we can go to the bottom, but you won't like it when I'm there.
You
And
won't like it.
yeah, you won't, because listen, I know my dark. I know my dark. Oh, I know it. I know it very well. And if I choose to, so one of the things I'm a speaker. I'm a speaker I teach classes, domestic violence, anger management. I work with a lot of men. And I always tell them in the class, I said, listen, you got to know your strengths and your weaknesses. And I said, I equally, I speak light, I speak life and death equally.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak both. I'm very fluent in
You're
both of
very
them.
bilingual.
Yeah, I can speak both of them. I'm very, very, if, when you see me on, doing my videos and you see me on here, I'm speaking life. But there are times where I've spoken the other side, and I know that I have to really be careful because my words can be
Yes.
very, very powerful and they can be very, very harmful. And so I'm and that's to my kids, that
Mm-hmm.
is to spouse, that is to family, that is to friends, that's to anybody. I have to really, really be careful how I speak because I could be
Wow.
upset about something. I could be upset about something. Like my son brought me something recently and he said, Pop, I want to talk to you about this. And I told him, I said, listen, I love you, but I can't talk about it right now. Give me a couple days. Give me a couple days and I will have mulled over it and come at you because I need to package this nicely because I'm upset about this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to package it. And so I just gave myself a couple days and then everything was fine. We had a great conversation, but I didn't want it now because that's something early on when I was a young father, I was not careful of. I was not careful. I caused a lot of harm um, to anyone that was around me, my spouse that was around me, my kids, anyone. I was in that space. So I know that part. I know that darkness. And so that's why I have to really be careful of that.
And see, I was the opposite. I was the opposite. I was the one who held it all in and was afraid to speak whatever I'm gonna say my truth was. But I was afraid to do that because I didn't want to hurt anyone else. And then once this little throat chakra opened up, it became a lot. It was almost like everybody got back pay. Okay, so everybody got exactly what they got, and I had to learn how to balance that. Okay, so you have an underactive throat chakra, then you have an overactive one, and I have had to learn how to, and now I process it before I speak because you say your words can harm, my words can decapitate, literally, and it's not. I'm not gonna say anything that's not true, but it will cause you to just probably not want to talk to me ever again. And I'm okay with that because I know what I'm saying. I'm not just being reckless. It's actual. I've processed this. I've thought about this. And this is something that you should know, and it's not to harm you. It's not to do anything unless you come for me. That's what I said. You have armor, but you also know how to fight spiritually. And whatever it is that version of me, that dark part of me that comes through, she don't play no games. But at the end of the day, we've had to learn through our journey when and where to bring that version of ourselves out because they serve purpose as well. They have meaning. They have a place. And you give them place. You learn to love that version of yourself. That's why we can laugh about it now. And not, no additional charges will be brought up. I say additional. But additional. But it's a thing where you learn to love all the parts of you, even those parts. Like I said, you want to go to the pits of hell, we can go there, but you will not have a good time. I'm gonna enjoy it, but you may not, because it's like I present this version of myself because this is the real me that walks through life. But if you want her, we can go ahead and let her out. We can let her out, but you have to earn it.
There was the other side of this too is that it's a very fine line with this too, because like I said, it's a fine line between speaking your truth, and if I have to speak my truth to someone, I will do that. But my for me, it's making sure I'm not going to the dark side and causing harm, because that's the part where I know I can go. Like I said, verbally, I can go there. And then in order for me to go to that level, I have to become less of who I am. That's the part that I don't like. I don't like having to become, because I like where I am. I love where I am. And then in order to go to that level, I got to go all the way down here and go to that frequency to do this stuff. And then that frequency carries density. It carries weight. That stuff's still on you. So when I go down there, it's almost like the dirt gets on me. Now I come back up, I'm all dirty now, and I'm like, damn, man, shoot, I got mud on my face, and I'm over here, hey, love and light, nah, man, ain't no love and light. You got dirt all, and so that's the part where I have to be careful. I think all of us, in a sense, to know that when we go to these lower frequencies, there is a cost. It costs you. It will cost you. It costs you something to go to those places, because those are places we're not supposed to be. Now that's not what I'm talking about. What Don's talking about, where you can check somebody, and stay where you are. You can stay where you are and check somebody and just set boundaries. But for me, maybe for some other people, I already know that I can go to a dark place. I can go to that place. And then when I'm there, I'm like, damn, what the hell am I doing here? Really? This is what I'm doing?
Would you consider, because when I talk about, I call that the shadow. I call that my shadow. Would you consider your shadow to still be unhealed? When you say it like that?
I don't know that it's healed or because so I don't go to these places typically. So that's the piece. But it's like I know the capabilities of myself. Like, so I don't know the answer to that. I can't say this healed or it's not healed.
I would say
It
that it is.
Why explain?
I would say that it is because you've made peace with it, that version of you, that side of
Mm-hmm.
you. You understand it and you have the ability to manage or control it. But
Mm-hmm.
you also know what the consequences are if you do not have it's kind of like if you didn't have control of a horse you're riding. It's
Right.
just gonna go anywhere. You in those moments you're more aware, you're more conscious of who you are in those moments. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore you have more control over your actions, your words, rather than, we've been in those spaces where it just spews out. And that's not us. That's that
Right.
unhealed, broken part of us. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
now you know him. You've worked with him, you've talked with him, you've sat with him, you cried with him, you knocked things out with him. And so you've done healing work to the point where like I will need you when I need you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just gonna let you just go run rambunctious.
Right.
So it's like it's healed, calmed, controlled, understood. And that really is our shadow. Our shadow are the unhealed, misunderstood, unheard, unseen parts of us
Mm.
that we chose to actually you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We cared
Mm-hmm.
for it,
Mm-hmm.
we nurtured it, but it is still a part of us. And if we need you, we got you on speed dial.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be here just like that. And we won't be as reckless anymore. Like there's been times I've gone so deep into those spaces and you just feel like there's something that something else that's controlling you in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like now when you think about it, be like, nah, I'm bringing out when I feel like it. We good, and there's no recklessness. There's actual power and not powerlessness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I receive that completely. And as I'm thinking about this, the places, you know, the depths that I've gone in my life, like my story, like the depths that I've gone, and those depths, those are things that I don't need I don't need those, because of the healing. Like I don't need that. That was even that, like my aggressive, toxic ways. That was protection. That was me trying to protect myself. It was me feeling like I was threatened. And what does a small animal do when it feels threatened? It tries to make itself look bigger. That was something that happened to me when I was a kid, and so that's what I did. When I became an adult, and so when I think about it, when you said, that part of me doesn't get to come. It doesn't get to get revived. The side where I can set boundaries with people. Like I don't need to. I manage this up here so well that I don't need to go. And I know when to stop. I'm like, okay, all right, I didn't play with this long enough. Let me let this go. I don't. Some people can go. I'm like, so that I'm too conscious about myself to know to be in a situation. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was nah. I don't have that excuse no more. Like I
Right. That's what
know.
I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't have that excuse. I'm like, I know. And so
Hmm.
for me at this stage, it's just like I said, I manage even with men. Like I don't get in fights. I don't get in arguments with men. I understand us. Like you walking around, somebody step on your shoe. If I actually didn't bump into a guy, excuse me, bro, my bad. No, hey, no problem. I'm gonna let you know before anything. I mean no harm. I mean no. My energy is going to tell you that.
Hmm.
It's gonna, and I'm always, and it's not that I'm scared of people or
You're
issues.
just not. It's not a threatening situation.
No, and I don't,
It's
and
fascinating.
one thing, and I know this about us, and I was sharing this with some of the guys. Some of these scenarios where we just get into these ego battles with each other. People lose their lives. You
Hmm.
know, People lose their lives. So, I'm always aware of that. But to your point, just to close that up, like I hear what you're saying. That is a healed place. But there are parts of me where, those healed versions where I had to go back and actually love on the version of me that I didn't even like.
Mm-hmm.
And then now to this place where I'm at now, it's like, okay, I love all parts of me, but I don't allow myself to go to certain places. Like I just can't. I got to detach and get my life together before I go back there. Cause it ain't going to be good for me, you, nobody, the neighbors, nobody.
Remember what I always said, break glass in case of emergency? That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
You here if we need you. And they just chilling like, okay, call me when you're ready. Seriously. Let's see who's in the room. I'm proud of you, Tori, for stepping away from that and not losing our job. We need our job. Yeah, it's and that's also just circling back to the alone and the lonely. When you learn how to love all the parts of you, the parts that you don't feel are your greatest, you really don't feel lonely anymore because you've got you appreciate you love you care for you. If you've gone and you've loved the parts of you that you can't stand, that's love. That's I'm good with me. I'm good. We are right. And that's making peace with self. Because those parts of you that get in an uproar, that get mad, that get triggered and all those things, those are the parts of you that you're not yet at peace with. Those are the parts, if anything is bothering you on the outside, it's bothering you on the inside with yourself. Yes, I love me some Tori now. Yes, you should.
And,
Yes.
and that's what makes it too, as you saying this, Don. That's what makes it too hard for the relationship piece of this, because
Mm-hmm.
when you fall in love with all the parts of you, and then you got some joker come along that just like you don't even do you the level of love that you bring ain't nowhere near what I get of myself. you know,
People don't get, I mean, I'm going on year 11. 11 of loving on me. Like, why should you be invited over? And why should I allow you into this space? It's like, put your resume in, and I'm not looking for your qualifications. I'm not looking for everything you built for yourself. Who are you? Who are you as a person? And why should you come into my space? How are you going to improve it? And how can I improve yours? That's the key. Not I can do this and I can do that. And where do you see me fitting in your life? How do you see me enhancing and improving you as a person, as a being, spiritually, mentally, financially, emotionally, all the things? Do we see one another as an asset? If
you know
not,
it,
mm-mm.
when you say that, when you have met God,
Mm.
everything else is just like, really. Like, dude, I done been in space. I've been in space with the divine. Like, real talk. Like, I've been in space with divine. Like, I just did a plant medicine trip recently.
Jealous.
I did recently, last week, matter of fact. I went on a journey. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting up out of here. I'm about to go to another dimension. I'm out. so,
Yeah.
and in that, I went, and then God met me. Like
Mm.
I met, and it wasn't a figure. It was the energy.
Feeling.
It was the energy, and then God met me, and it was so powerful that God was trying to meet me, but God is so. It was like it's so powerful that it cannot be expressed here.
Mm.
And so what it was doing was dumbing itself down to me, dumbing itself down so that I could understand it. Now, in the dumbing down, I felt like my whole body was about to explode. I felt like my whole body was about to, every cell, I could feel every cell in my body. And I could
Yeah.
every one of them was just buzzing and it was about to explode. And the way that it was explaining and it was saying to me, it said, listen, you know how, it's like God is the sun. You know how the energy of the sun, that is the energy of God. But the sun is only a reflection of what God, and the immense power of what it is. Now, after doing all of that, you got some joker come along talking about you want to be in the, you want to get together, and you offering this halfway, halfway situationship. It's hard.
Good morning, beautiful.
It's hard because you said something. You said if you cannot enrich spiritually, if you can't, and that's basically like the number one, like the spiritual piece, like and like you said, if all it is just the basic 3D stuff, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, you're offering sex. Oh, okay, sex. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Okay. Oh, you got money. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Okay. It's different. It's different for those if you're awakened. If you're awakened, it's different, and that's to Dawn's point about the lonely piece. It is a part of that journey, but I don't know the answer because I don't know the answer to the happy ending in love. Is that a 3D concept? Is that like I don't know that that's a concept in the 5D. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because
I
people
love
look for it.
Abraham Esther Hicks. She has said in one of her talks before, when people get married or decide to create union, the vows should pretty much go, okay, I'm with you, we're together, you're with me. Let's just see how this goes. And we'll
That
revisit
part.
this. We'll revisit
Yeah.
this. Because you can't say, oh, I vow to love you and this and everybody can't stick by that. Everybody can't, and that's how come, the expectation of marriage is so distorted. And that's why there's so many people that divorce. There's so many people that check out and stay married. And it's like, what did you get married for? You got married because people told you were supposed to. It was an expectation. And then they gave you rules and guidelines as to what it means when it's a man-made thing. Whereas union, connection, is something spiritual. And it doesn't have to be a legal documentation. If you want to have I want to have a wedding, you can have a commitment ceremony.
A ceremony, yeah.
Yeah, you can have that and tell everybody in front of all your friends and family, hey, we locked in. And we decide to unlock, we'll unlock, if that happens. But the thing about it is, for me, it's a huge must have is you have to be on your growth journey, spiritual growth, personal growth, all the things, right? You're also committing to not me, you're committing to my growth. Are you willing to grow with me? Because if you can't grow with me, we don't have anything to talk about, because I live and breathe my growth. And if we're deciding to grow together, then we're going to be living and breathing not just our personal growth, but our union growth. And that's how come somebody just wrote something. At the moment, we're too busy awakening self within and ascending. No time. Well, for those that have not yet been on their journey, as long as someone like myself, I kind of believe that my time is approaching for a union, because self is good. Self has been good for over a decade. Self is going to be great for another decade if need be. But something within me is saying, I think it's time. But when it happens, it happens. Also, here's a shameless plug, but I just created an ebook. It's the 5 must-haves of an aligned relationship that goes, as Dom said, beyond the surface things. Beyond the surface. It's called conscious coupling. And it's the 5 must-haves: security, authenticity, vision, passion, and peace. If you don't have those things within yourself, you have no business consciously getting into a relationship or saying you want to align with someone because you haven't done your work. So you can't find and align with your perfect person until you become your perfect person. It's just not gonna pan out because you guys are still going to be trying to heal the parts of you that came before the union in the union. And if you want longevity, if you want that real soul spiritual connection, you have to do that with yourself first and then align as you go along the way. And once again, like I said, grow together. Have those conversations, especially if you are on your spiritual journey, if you are working on yourself. Don't invite nobody else to come in and deter you and distract you and derail you from what it is that you have with you. You haven't even nurtured that relationship with yourself yet. So you're going to bring someone else in to take your undivided attention off of you. It's a great thing to be selfish and self-full. It's great because your perfect person is going to want the best possible package that you have to offer. And if you're still working, I'm working on myself, that's fine. Go on dates, have fun. Just go have fun. But when it comes to consciously getting into a relationship with someone, getting into alignment with someone to do life together with, you got to make sure you're good with you first. Otherwise, especially when it comes to a shared vision, because your vision is going to sometimes stray over to their vision and not be solid and in alignment with yours. You're gonna try to when you have not yet reached authenticity within yourself and you're good with self and you've healed with self and like we said, you love the parts of you, you're going to still sometimes wear a mask that someone else wants you to wear. And it's not really who you are. So go get my ebook. It's in my stand store.
That's a good point. So I've experienced some of this. I've experienced some of the connection in the higher level, and it's very different because you when you, like, as you say, Dawn, like you show up to the best of your ability, like in your higher self. But then when you show up there are only certain things that can come out when you're within that union.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get them single. There's certain things that I could not get single. I couldn't get, if I'm by myself because I'm with me. There's only certain things that another divine feminine can sit in front of me and mirror in front of me. Like, she has to mirror that to me. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even know that was there. And then I do the same thing for her. And then there's another thing to see someone else's distortion and not go running, because I got track shoes. I'm like, I ain't got time for this.
He's like, I keep my laced up.
Yeah, I ain't got time for this. Why I gotta deal with this? But like, I'm telling you, this is a profound awakening for me to understand about relationships, that it's not always when I see distortion run. It's like, okay, if you are a mirror to each other, this distortion is supposed to be there. It's supposed to show up. Now I'm supposed to sit in love as that person works through theirs, as they are supposed to sit in love as I work through mine, because we equally show each other, the distortion. Like, oh, did you know this distortion is here? Did you know this distortion is here? It's like, oh, okay. And then when we see that, whatever thing we see, chances are, well, the way I understand it is it's going to be a trigger to something that it's a trigger. It's like, oh, I don't deal with this. I'm not there. And it's like, well, hold on. This person is actively in the journey too. So they're in the journey.
Exactly.
The universe speaks to them. So it's not about, and then, and I remember thinking this too, like, wait a minute, it's not for me to change this. It's simply for me to show the mirror, like, hey, this is there, for her to show the mirror to me and then step back and then love them through that process. Mm-hmm. But I remember early on though, in my awakening journey, and then thinking that anytime I saw a distortion, I'm supposed to dip. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look, I ain't got my whole saying. I might as well have this tattooed on my neck. I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for this. I got purpose I'm trying to do. You think I got time for this?
Well, that was
But
part of the time.
yeah, but it was a strange awakening to say, to hear, sit in this, don't run, sit, because there is something you're supposed to learn too. And then understanding that this is not meant just for, and I did a video on this talking about the romantic part is a byproduct of the spiritual piece. The spiritual piece is the primary. That is the primary focus. It's not for us to, and if we're not doing our spiritual, we don't get the rewards of the
You
romance
know.
part. You don't get that. So, and that was a part for me to realize that, damn, okay, so we're supposed to operate spiritually. And when we do that right, the reward is is
It's
the
the romance.
romance. And
It's the
now
butterflies and all the tinkly stuff.
in the 3D world, the romance is it. That's it. That's the
Right.
that's the highest level. But in this awakening world, it's like, no, 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 no. My spiritual growth, her spiritual growth is primary. That is the number
Numero
one
uno.
thing. And you
Numero.
said the union. I like how you said that. You said the union. This ain't over. This is a union. So when you get into a union and then we start mirroring and we grow spiritually, that is primary. And then the romance is secondary and everything else falls underneath that, which is, but I'm telling you, I remember that, man. I had track shoes on. I'm like, man, I don't deal with none of this. I don't have to. I don't got time. But I
Yeah.
was actually stopping my own spiritual growth because there were lessons that I needed to get within that union.
Yes. Is anybody in the chat in a relationship that you would consider to be spiritual or to have a soul connection, that where the surface level things are not the dominant factors in your relationship, and who's on their spiritual journey that, or their alignment with self journey, that is seeking or desiring a relationship. Just let us know. Is anybody in the chat? Whatever, let us know. Let's get some more engagement. Y'all fell asleep. And I had shared that with you a couple months ago about my previous, or my last experience. I can't call it a relationship because it really wasn't. And I said, I have to sit in this because I'm here for a reason, and I'm here to see more things about myself. And even though there was a lot of, I was like, ooh, okay, this is okay, this is crazy, that's crazy. It was all me. So I had a lot of time in that time to sit with me and really say, okay, what am I not seeing about myself? What am I here to experience? Because I'm not getting, like you said, track shoes. Yeah, I could go, but I've left a couple times. So I think I should sit here a little longer to finish. No, it's not gonna work out the way that you think, but it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to. And that means I kept saying, like Denzel said, oh, I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. So I ain't losing nothing. I'm leaving here with something.
Steph said, I love to have my person, but I know I'm still working on me. Let me see. Tori says, honestly, I love my peace so much. I'm in no rush for a relationship. And I like that part too, because it's in this journey, the relationships tend to more align than somebody said this on when I was talking about relationship on one of my posts, and somebody said there should be an app. I'm like, nah, for
No,
spiritual people, for spirit. I'm
no.
like, no, oh hell no.
Oh my
See,
gosh. I thought of that and I was like, ain't no way. No. No.
it doesn't.
It doesn't work like that.
No, and that's what I was saying. That's a 3D concept that we're trying to mesh into the 5D world, which is like, no, there's no app. You align with who you're supposed to be with, whoever. So, I mean, the question is, do you trust the journey enough to do
Yeah.
that? And I want to ask y'all this question, and this is a real question. I want. Do you trust the journey enough? Do you trust the journey enough? What if the journey said to you, you got two more people that you're going to be with in this life? It ain't no one person. What if the
Woo.
journey said to you, you have three more relationships or you have zero relationship?
I
What?
really
Because we
get
all
it.
we have this thing in our head. Well, I want my next person to be the last. You don't know if the universe
That's
said
cute.
there's 3 more people
Okay.
that you're supposed to, or 0 people, or 1 person. I don't know which one it is. You know what I said? I'm open to whatever they have for me. It ain't my ego is not going to dictate. If you say there's 2 more people, then bring them. If there's 0 people, then let it be. If it's 1 more person that I'm supposed to be with, because the one person thing is that's the 3D. That's the conditioning that says, well, we have to have that. And I'm like, well, maybe there is 1 person. There's nothing wrong with that. But I got to a place of recognizing, well, maybe it is 1. Maybe it's not. But anyways, I want to put that out there to start some mess.
I love that because guess what? Guess what my mind automatically goes to? If
What?
there's 3 more people, then that means there's 3 more versions of me that I get to experience. Because each person is a different version of you. They get a different version of you. They get a different experience of you. So it's just like, okay, cool, let's get it. Because it ain't going to be nothing but growth.
Corey said, I'm cool with 0.
You go with 0. And you know what? I had to go through a lot of that mental, well, what if there isn't anybody else? What if it's just me? That's one of the motivations for me fulfilling my life as much as possible. Making sure I'm whole with me, doing things I love to do. Like, if it's just going to be me, then fine. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'm like, okay, so yeah, what do I feel like doing? What do I feel like dressing like? I shouldn't have to, oh, I'm only gonna dress up or shave my legs because as a man, no, I want my legs to be soft for me. You know, it's like it's all these different things. It shouldn't be for another person. Everything that you want, and everything that you want to be, and the person that you want to impress more than anybody is you. You got to impress you. Exceed your expectations with yourself. And that's what I mean about security and authenticity, first and foremost. Are you authentically you? If you're authentically you, the person who you might align with is going to accept and receive you as you. You don't have to put on no facade. You don't have to pretend to be something just to impress them. You don't, just be you. They might like the way you pop your gum. I don't know. It could be anything. And if you're not truly being you, how do you know if they really like you or not?
Yeah, and when you are authentically yourself, like let's say you like orange hair, and you dye your hair orange, and everybody like, that's stupid. Why are you doing that? But for that 1 person, they're gonna walk by you. They're gonna be like, you know what? What's your name? What's your name? My favorite color is orange. my favorite. But you only get to attract that when you are authentically your natural essence, your natural scent, your natural who you're supposed to be. That's how you get that. But the pretending, like that part, you're gonna get someone who's pretending to like you too.
And how many movies have we seen where that backfired, and TV shows where somebody likes somebody and they go along with what that person likes, and oh yeah, I like that too. You don't know, no, you don't. Just be you. That's one of the ways I raised my son from childhood. Just be yourself. You don't have to do what you like to do. You want to be, dress how you want to dress. Someone will receive you for being you.
And there's, of course, there's things you can compromise on with that without not giving up yourself. I mean, there's certain things that, there's certain things I can compromise on, but as long as I still get, because listen, I'm the best human being on this planet when I am fully Dominique. I am the best version of me, is what I mean. Like, when I have to be somebody that I'm not, or who you want me to be, I'm not going to be, you don't even want to be around me because I'm not happy. This is not who I am. And I don't want to put that on anybody else. I want people to be who they are genuinely. I got to get going, Dawn. Wait. But for people to just be genuinely who they are, and then you will align. But the apps, Somebody was talking about an app. I'm like, dude, a spiritual, really? You come on, you already know what that's gonna turn into. Like,
Only thing that should really be apps for in the spiritual realm are what do they call it? Mixers. Where you just social and everybody comes in and it's just a good time. Just hang out. Great energy. Might be some chanting, might be some music, acoustic music playing, might be, incense burning the whole nine. But other than that, we align organically and authentically. But once again, y'all go get my ebook. It's in my stand store. You know where that is.
what's the name of it?
It's called Conscious Coupling, the 5 must-haves for an aligned relationship.
Okay, y'all. So y'all need to go get that ebook, and that's part of your homework assignment. Because when we come back next week, we're gonna have to go through that.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna have to go through. Yeah, we're gonna go down chapter 1. We're gonna be talking. Come on, we got.
It's a short read. It's about 3 pages each section, so it's about 30 pages. So it's a short read, but it's one of those things that I've been sitting on for like 5 years, and I said, Don, just go ahead and finish it. You got it. I think it's important now because so many people are talking about relationships and they're not ready. They're just not ready. You're looking for a body. You're not looking for a true connection. You just want somebody there with you, and you have not learned to be there with yourself.
Shots fired, 911. Mm-hmm. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. She said, you looking for a body. But if you stop, why are we looking for a body? Because we are told that we are less valuable if we don't have a body next to us. You are told that you are not, if you don't have a marriage, or if you don't have a kid, or if you're not, something's wrong with you. That's a red flag if you don't.
Oh gosh,
man, please miss me
all
with
the
that.
time. Why you been single so long? Because can't nobody keep up. Yeah. You try to keep it up with me. My family can't even keep up.
Trying to told you.
We love y'all. Everybody, thank y'all for joining us this evening. Thank you for being in this frequency with us and engaging with us. If you guys go get the book because that's homework for next week. Dom, I'm gonna send it to you so you can breeze over it in your leisure. Okay. And you guys come back next week. It's gonna be more engagement, more great conversation. Stay uplifted in the meantime. I know the world's going crazy, but you don't have to go crazy with it. Stay encouraged. If you guys need to talk, if you have something that you're going through and you need assistance with, please feel free to reach out to Dom or myself. We are here for you and with you. We provide coaching. I am a coach and spiritual counselor. We are here to help you elevate to the best and greatest versions of yourselves. We love you. We thank you for being here with us this evening. And we will see y'all next Monday. Peace and blessings.
Get the book. Get the book.
Get the book.